Hello, everyone. This is the C Squared podcast with Corey and Curtis. We are here today with Laura from the Inferno Doll. She's here to chat with us about all sorts of fun, dark, creepy things. And also potentially cats.
And potentially cats, yes.
So Laura, can you kind of, like, you've been on my previous podcast before. I've done lives with you multiple times. I think I had you in a seminar once in the Mixer group, if I'm not mistaken. I did. Yeah. So I've done a lot of things with you. I've done your PR, but can you kind of briefly go over, for anyone that may not know who you are yet, exactly who you are, what you do musically?
Sure. Okay, I'll try to be as brief as possible. So my name is Laura. I'm a solo artist. The name of my project, it's the Inferno Doll. So I'm also known as the Inferno Doll. I'm originally from Chile. I've been living here in Calgary, Canada it's gonna be 5 years this year. I mainly do dark goth metal, very much inspired in dark romance, gothic literature, horror, creepy things, dark stuff that I like. And I've released 2 albums, one full album on 2015 and one EP last October 2020. And right now I'm working on a new album. So yeah, that's briefing everything in a very as briefly as possible.
That is imperfect. So I'm going to let Corey start off the round of questions because she doesn't know you as well as I do. So I want to hear her first.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I definitely am new to your music, but I've been listening to it and I definitely love the image that you create, that dark persona that you have that you've built. And so I guess my first question is so I asked this of Hernox, who also has a pretty dark, persona as well that he has crafted. How important do you think it is to have that kind of a unique persona that is out there for the world, that's different from the home version of you?
Well, it's actually like the how is it called, like the lockdown version with PJs to the queen of darkness in the other side. Yeah, I've always thought, like, before I learned about branding and everything, that having a visual that is related to the music that you're making, it gives the listener like a better perspective of what you want to show them. If I show myself like not in my normal clothes, but in PJs with clouds, and I don't know, it doesn't make sense. For me, the visuals have to be accompanied with the music. It's something that comes together all the time. So it has to be like that. So in my case, everything is kind of dark fantasy with a lot of personal stuff, but I changed that personal stuff into stories, into dark story, fantasy stories, and they are all linked to the image of my music. It's the music, what you hear and what you see. So that's basically it.
Definitely. I totally get that. And I see more and more artists creating this like multimedia experience. So it's not just, music anymore. One artist that I follow, Emily Autumn, she has her album. Oh, yes, right. Okay.
I love her.
The best. She has her album, she has the book, and she has her musical. And I'm starting to see more of that pop up in the music world. Starset released a book with their album based on the concept. And so my next question, I guess, is 2 parts. 1, do you see more of that coming as we become an increasingly visual society? And 2, is that something you would ever consider doing, since your music is all very theatrical and very story-based? I want an infernal musical.
Oh yeah, actually the musical part is not something that I'm working like right now, but I do have a crazy idea in my head that sometime, I hope that for the 4th release, I do want to be like storybook, and I actually have a couple of friends. They are artists and they are working on their comic, and they are actually working on a character based on the Inferno Doll.
Oh, nice.
On the Inferno Doll look. So I'm not sure I should say that, but he's been telling me that forever, and they asked me for my permission. Hey, it's okay to like do a character inspiring in your looks, and I'm like, sure. So I told him, you know what, I would like to do that, but with my music, like have it like a storybook, more in a comic-ish version, where the characters are like, they have their dialogues with the song lyrics and everything, and then you have the music and everything. It's something that I'd like to do. And I think it's great that more and more and more artists are doing that, because we are entertainers. We're here to entertain our audience. So for me, when I meet a new band, actually it just happened yesterday. I think I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this ad of this band, and I'm like, I like the looks, I like what I see. So I want to check on their music and stuff and see if their music makes sense with their looks. Yep. So it has to be like that. It's like a movie or a theater. You have to dress up for the show, you have to perform, you have to entertain. So yes, more and more artists are doing it. I think it's amazing, and they should keep doing it. It's great.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. And I think Emily Autumn is like the prime example of creating that whole universe around her work.
Yeah, actually the way she does it, I like it very much. She has this for what's the phrase that she used for Victorian girls?
The asylum for wayward Victorian girls.
Yeah, you have a community there. So that's what most artists like me or other indie artists that you have already interviewed we're doing that, but in our own way, in our own view. So we can kind of, how can I know the word, what I wanted to say in Spanish, but I don't know how to say it in English. Damn, I need a translator. Okay, it's like, I think it's just what I was just saying is they have the visual, they are entertaining, so it has to be like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a great experience and it does build a community around the artist as well when they have all those different touch points. And so, Curtis, you were about ready to say something. Sorry, I interrupted.
I was agreeing with Laura. Was all. It was a nod of.
He's just there nodding.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's easy to agree with her.
Yes.
So no, that is exciting. That's something you have kind of in your brain, because that's definitely something I would like to see after just listening to what I found so far of your music. And then so. With projects like that, it's like, I understand that, I mean, there's got to have to be collab with other artists, because, I mean, I don't know if you can draw, but I can't. So if I have a story that I want to turn into a comic, I have to find somebody to help me. So how do you approach other artists when it comes to collaborating on stuff like that?
Well, when is the comic thing? I have to just think of, I have some artists in mind that I would like to collaborate with, but if that doesn't work, you can also reach like your friends that are artists, and maybe you can just get to a good agreement on fees and everything. But in my case, not talking about the graphic part, but in the musical part, I'm a solo artist, so I do need a collaborator to like help me to with the musicalization of the song, like the drums, the guitars, and all that. I write with piano, VST instruments, a lot of imagination. So I've been working with the same person since I started Domination, the Inferno Doll, since Domination, Sacrifice. So it's like, it's easier. We're friends for long times, but we also have like the business part. We talk about that. We leave everything in writing. Everything's okay. We can work on the art part. That is the fun part. But I normally, when I want to reach someone to collaborate with, I first have like the boring conversation, like the fees, what agreement, what can we get to, and then start working on it. Everyone has approach.
How would you usually approach somebody who's new that maybe you don't know?
Oh, I would first check if typically I find artists on Instagram. I check their bio if they allow like direct messaging or if they have a contact email. I reach them out on their email. I tell them who I am. I tell them what I'm looking for and ask them before talking business if they would be interested in working in this project, because I don't want to work with someone who's not interested or who doesn't understand what I'm doing and he or she's just working for the money. It doesn't work. That person has to be interested first. If the person is interested, then we talk about business and then we talk about what I want. And I don't know how to draw, but I normally do very awful sketches in my notebook. And I show them, the artist, you know what? I have this idea. Can you make this better? That's what happened with the album cover. With Sacrifice, I had this dream. I draw what I saw. I showed this awful drawing to the artist. And he turned it into the beautiful artwork of Sacrifice.
So I want to move along onto something else here. Or are you so with that?
Yeah, totally. I was just going to agree with her.
Okay. So Laura, just one thing I want to back up to is, okay, so whenever you're collaborating with someone, you said you always you check them out first. You kind of do like a background check.
Yeah.
If their DMs are open type of thing. So can you kind of say what would kind of indicate a red flag for you? Like you don't want to work with them?
They don't have a website, or
Fair.
they don't have a portfolio,
Fair.
or if I can find them anywhere. If you're an artist and if you don't have any social media or you're not showing your work, it's like, I'm not working with you.
Okay. Is that the same for like if you were approached by a label, for example, or is that just that type of thing?
Yeah, I think it works for every artist. You have to have ways to be found. You have to be in social media. I know social media work is, you must have your website, all your info, contact info. In the about sections of the social media, you can put your contact email or links to your website. If you have a phone number, you can put it in there. And have reviews if it's possible. Some fans are lazy about that. They send you the reviews on email or direct messages or comments. They don't write them on the review section on Facebook, for example. But and of course, if I'm gonna work with an artist, it's because I've seen the work before. There's a local artist that I like. I don't remember his name. He's from Edmonton. And I've been wanting to work with him for a while. So maybe I'll just send him an email and say, hey, you know what? I have this plan for this. I want to release new merch and I have this idea for the artwork. Can you do it? But first, can you do it? Are you interested? If you don't like it, then I'll find someone else. Okay,
so next part I want to go into is just about the image wise, because I mean, basically you're like the Chilean Dracula, like we said at the beginning before we started. So, okay, so you get a lot to Dracula. I know that you're a big horror fan, big Dracula type fan. So do you think you'll ever kind of branch the Inferno Doll off horror, or do you think as the Inferno Doll, this is just that character, that theme?
Yeah, the theme and the branding and everything about Inferno Doll is already built. If I am going to do something different, I'll just probably use my name, Laura Inferno, or something else. If I wanted to do something not metal related or not Inferno Doll related, I would totally do something different.
Okay, fair enough. So
a lot of work on social media.
Well, it's already got like 3 different accounts for your socials. Like you got the Laura Inferno account. I think you got a personal one, and then you got the Inferno Doll account on top of that. Is that why you're kind of keeping up the personal account too? Is because just in case it is.
Yeah, because the Inferno Doll is everything related to the Inferno Doll, the aesthetics, the branding, the world, the things I share and I post, and my accounts are more like whatever I feel like it. I'm not like working on my own name. So I'm just working I'm working on the Inferno Doll. So that's why I was thinking about merging them. But then I thought, what if tomorrow I want to make some kind of trip hop music?
Trip hop, eh? Nice.
I'm just saying something. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna
she goes
keep
country.
the account.
Yeah, rap.
Yeah, or country or rap or whatever.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
Cat inspired music. I would totally use another profile and another name. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm shooting this back. I'm going to ask Corey this question, and I'm sure is going to lead this back into you. So, Corey, just as a metal fan, in general, like Laura and a lot of other people, they feature a lot of their animals and stuff on their social media. Okay, as a fan, I really like that. I'm just curious what you think about it. And then I wanted to see if you can kind of tie it into a question with Laura, if you're getting my drift or not. I don't know. I don't know if you're on the same wavelength as me or not, but I want to see.
We'll find out. So I like that kind of a thing. I think it creates a bond that, like, with the fans, it kind of breaks that wall that's usually there between the artist and the fans when they feature their pets or a hobby or something like that. That gives a sort of connection, like, oh, I have a cat too, or oh, I'm into crocheting too, or whatever their hobby that they're featuring is. So I actually do have a question on that one. How important do you think it is for an artist to kind of break down that wall and create that personal connection with the fans? And I was on the same wavelength.
You were.
Yeah, I knew.
Twin powers.
Yeah, it has to be like that. I mean, I can't imagine me not connecting with my community or my fans. I'm always posting pictures of my cats. That's why I have two accounts too. On my account, I post like tons of pictures of cats. In the Inferno Doll, I post them sometimes in my feed or Facebook on stories all the time. But in my Facebook group, it's like Cat Day. Hey guys, happy Cat Day. Show me your pets. And everyone has a pet. Everyone's like, if I post a picture of my cat, hey, I have this cat that looks exactly like your cat. And I'm like, duh, it does. I have this fan friend from Vancouver, and her cat looks exactly like Tito. Really? So I post a picture of Tito and she's like, hey, Queen Goomba here says hello to Tito. So it is a really nice way to connect with your fans. If there is a pet or any hobby that you have and you can share with them, it kind of tells fans that your artists, the artists that you admire, are not someone that you can't reach.
Yeah.
They are approachable, they're human, they feel, they're real, they're not just a machine that you can put on stage and just do the work. It's a human person here that loves cats, and I love cats.
Okay,
so at the beginning we'd be talking about cats, so
yeah.
So I want to tie this back to both of you guys now, because I have my own opinions on this. I want to hear it. So how important? I'm going to ask you, Laura, first. Do you think?
Don't ask me about the cat food.
No, it isn't about. I'm not asking about cat food, not the cat food thing. Just so you know, Corey, I told her she should make cat themed cat theme for Inferno Doll cat food.
Infernal cat food.
Infernal cat food.
Or catnip.
Inferno nibbles. There.
Inferno nibbles. There you are.
Where was I going with my question again? Now I'm losing my train of thought. So, I know what it was. So how important? So I think that there also needs to be a bit of a mystique for something like at the same time, right? So how do you kind of like have that I'm accessible versus I'm this vampire that sleeps in my fucking coffin thing? How can you kind of balance that?
Honestly, I just do it. I stopped thinking about it. At the beginning was like, I have to do this. It was more like following the rules of social media and how to become an artist. I had no idea. And I'm talking about when I was really young. Because at the beginning, when I was like 19 or 18 years old, I was told, if you're an artist, if you're the singer of the band, nobody can approach you. You are an artist. You are untouchable. And so many people told me the same thing for years, that when I started to do like the other way around, everything was much better. People trust you, people believes you, people connects with you, they listen to you. and they end up either buying or becoming a fan, sharing your music, supporting you with everything.
Fair.
You also have to have some limits. There's things that I don't share on social media at all, because it's who I am, but there are other things that I do share with them because I want them to know that part of me. Yep. There's all other things that are more personal, they're family related, that they don't have to like know about it.
Yep.
But the rest is like, yes, I'm the artist, I'm the one you look up and like, oh my God, that there she is. But I'm very cool. I'm not gonna bite you. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna suck your blood. I eat food. I'm vegetarian. And I like cats.
So, Corey, let's get this back down to you, because you kind of are the same. Okay, so now how do you keep the personal and the, I'm maybe not famous type thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you keep the social media versus Corey separate, if you get what I'm saying?
So I think it comes down to really like two things. One is your comfort level. Sharing things that you aren't comfortable with, are going to either come off as forced or ingenuine. If you try to force that kind of connection out there, they're going to be able to pick up on that and not be able to, and they're not going to really feel that connection. But the other thing is good judgment. I'm 32. I know what to share on the internet and what not to share on the internet. There are artists out there that are extremely open with their personal lives. Emily Autumn, going back to her, she's another example, because she's very, very open with her struggles with mental illness and all sorts of different things that she's gone through with her life. So it's a balance of what you're comfortable sharing, and then also using good judgment, like, don't post every breakup you go through. You're not 15 anymore. that kind of thing. So
fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to now, I want to get off social media for a second here, because we got about 10 minutes left. So I want to briefly go over your new upcoming material that you got going, Laura.
Oh yeah.
So you've been posting like snippets of you screaming your guts out every once in a while.
Yeah.
So can you kind of go over what the plan is for a release and when you're doing it? Like, what's the timeline expected to be?
Okay, so we are just starting. I sent out my demos to Gabriel, my co-songwriter, co-producer, my friend, a week ago, and we're gonna meet tomorrow to start working on the songs. So we're planning on writing songs for the next 3 months. And if everything goes as planned, you will be hearing again from the Inferno Doll new music on December. It depends.
1 year.
This year.
Yeah, 1 year, but 1 year since you would have released your last album.
Yeah. Actually, the first date is October. The second option is November, or I'm gonna wait until December.
Laura, we released in December. Remember?
Oh right.
That's right.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm planning on doing that. Let's see how it works. And about the snippets of me screaming is because I'm planning on doing like live vocal performances. I can't perform. I can't play live. I don't have a band here. I haven't been able to find musicians to play with me yet. So I'm practicing. I'm changing my digital audio workstation. I'm rehearsing the old songs. Oh my gosh. And I'm planning on doing that soon. I want to start on the Facebook group and then moving up to YouTube and then Twitch. One of my favorite singers, that's my English. Daniel Tompkins, he's singer of Tesseract, and he does that a lot. I love his live streams, and I'm like, dude, I could do that. Absolutely. And that's another way to me to prepare for the stage. Yep. And get to know my fans, even if it's on a screen. But I'm kind of feeling the need of going out, perform, hanging out with them, but I can't do that. So why not streaming? That's one of the reasons. And because I like to sing.
When was the last time you actually performed live? Was it in Chile?
Was in Chile, 2016, really? 2 weeks before I took the plane to came here. I was not leaving my hometown without having to perform live. So yeah.
Okay. Corey, did you have anything you wanted to ask about that before I move on to the next one?
Oh, nope. You got my questions covered. As per usual.
Again, as usual.
Sorry. Well, okay. So one thing I do want to ask you about as well is, like, you do Savvy Musician Academy with Leah Henry, and you get coached regularly by Lindsay Schoolcraft. You're one of her, I think, 2 or 3 actual students that she will actually coach. So how important is it, do you think, for a musician to learn the business end of things?
I think it's the best you can do. If you can do it, if you have the budget, learn. It's going to help you understand how the music business works. There's a lot of things that I've learned in the past few months that I'm kind of scared of, like, but anyways, it helps you to make your music heard by more people, to build your fan base. It's things that it has changed my life tremendously. And every time I have ideas or I'm lost, because right now, for example, I have a big list of random ideas that I have that have nothing to do with the songwriting.
Yeah.
And I always talk to Lindsay, like in our coach calls. I have this idea. I don't know how to make it happen. I'm going to write an album. I don't know how to plan it. I mean, I know, but because I'm talking just for myself, I'm alone. I'm doing everything on my own. I don't have support of any band member or anybody.
Yeah.
So sometimes for me, it's really hard to organize myself, the things that I have to do. I don't have to forget, like, get the quote from the printing, that the people that is going to print my CDs, how much it's going to cost packaging, and the Canada Post, and a lot of details that I talk about all this with Lindsay, and she gives me like a checkup list.
Nice.
And it helps me a lot to put my ideas in order, in priority order, and take action in a better way, instead of just sitting there and just thinking, what am I going to do? So I have these coach calls with Lindsay. She helps me out. We talk about business, we talk about mindset, and then we talk about life because we're friends. So it's been extremely important to have Lindsay's coaching all this time, especially now during this lockdown, the things that I want to do. I'm not on the elite program. It's not available, actually, the elite program that teaches you all the e-commerce tricks. Yep. I'm on the basic one. So I'm ready to, like, take the e-commerce program now. But in the meantime even, for example, and I want to contact this artist. What's the best way to approach to this artist and ask her or him what I want to do? I asked Lindsay. I asked her because she knows. She's more ahead of me. She's been touring longer. She's been doing this music business longer than me. So I would absolutely reach for her advice in that area.
So, okay. And then how important do you think it is? Can you kind of go over what the importance of us also having it as a network as well?
Lindsay?
Well, just
Lindsay as a network?
No, Savvy itself, and like having a network of people. Like, I mean, you're in my mixer group.
Yes.
I connect you with other people. You got the Leah thing. I mean, like, how important is it to have a network is what I'm saying.
It's super important. You're an indie artist. You don't have like the support of a big record label that does everything for you, kinda.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the Savvy Musician Academy, you have a Facebook group. You connect with people. You can get buddies to work with. Like if you're in the same program, even if you're in a different genre of music, having someone to have your back because you're lost, and having a community where you can go ask for help is the best thing in the world. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And then Corey, do you have any more questions before I wrap up?
No, I think we are good. I definitely just want to say I agree with her on the network and the community. Mine is growing, and it is so important, and I'm so thankful to have it. So yes, if any bands are listening and they're, you know, scared to approach people, get past that and build your network.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing you can build.
And do your own wake. They're your fans. They're going to support you, and you're free to do whatever you want. So yeah, build your community, connect with your fans, be present, do social media, and build your email list.
Yes.
So to wrap up, I just want to say big thank you to Laura for coming on. She is fantastic. You need to listen to her latest called Sacrifice. And she also recently released a video that was phenomenal. I forget the name of the girl that performs and does the tricks, but
Day Johnson.
What's her name?
Day Johnson, the fire performer.
Yeah, the Firewalker was just phenomenal. And she's got a great video. It premiered like 2 months ago, I think, in January. But go watch it anyways. Also follow her on Instagram. Which handle? I always forget which handle.
The Inferno Doll for everything.
Okay, the Inferno Doll. Okay, so follow her on the Inferno Doll. Listen to her music. She has a shop. She's got awesome merch that you can buy. She's got awesome music you can buy as well. Do not harass her or anything like that. Just buy her music and follow her on all her socials. And I think that's all I got. So party on, Corey.
And party on, Curtis. Party on, Laura.
Yeah, party on. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I had lots of fun. And